a look at that. This is what the statement of the MEA says. We are deeply concerned at the escalation. India is monitoring the situation very, very closely. Apart from that, it is also putting in a word of caution as far as Israel is concerned. Reiterate call for restraint by all concerned. That's what, in fact, the Foreign Affairs Minister did say when it comes to the region-wide escalation of the issue. Reiterate call for protection of civilians. They said all the parties involved need to keep into mind the international humanitarian laws. Important that conflict doesn't grow wider. These are some of the excerpts of that statement by the MEA. This is what India has to say. Address issues through dialogue and diplomacy. So stress being on dialogue and diplomacy. Resolve the issue through dialogue and diplomacy. Keep the international humanitarian laws in mind and the protection of civilians especially. Listen to what the Foreign Affairs Minister said.
If one looks at the current situation, I think it would be right to start off with October 7th. We regard October 7th as a terrorist attack. We understand that Israel had a need to respond. But we also believe that any response by any country has to take into account international humanitarian law, that it must be careful about any damage or any implications for civilian populations, and that given what has happened in Gaza, it is important to have some kind of international humanitarian effort out there.
Let's now take a look at how the world is responding to the Iranian attack. These are some of the reactions coming in.
But I utterly condemn this attempt by the Iranian regime to harm innocent Israelis, to escalate this incredibly dangerous situation and push the region ever closer to the brink. We stand with Israel and we recognise her right to self-defence in the face of this aggression. Iran must stop these attacks, together with its proxies like Hezbollah.
We, of course, condemn Iran's actions. We once again reiterate the call that we've made along with the United States, the United Kingdom, the European Union, Italy, Germany, Japan, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, other nations as well, calling for a de-escalation. We're very concerned about Iran's actions, which is why we condemn them. It is a good thing that it would appear that the defence of Israel, supported by the United States, has ensured that there is no loss of civilian life. It would appear at this stage there's been too much loss of life in that region.
Does Israel have the right to send troops into Lebanon?
What we want to do is to reiterate the call that we have. Israel, of course, has a right to defend itself. What we have called for consistently is for a de-escalation in the region, along with our friends in the United States and others. We issued a joint statement with 13 nations just a week ago, and we did that in the context of making sure that the Israelis can return to northern Israel and that the Lebanese can return to southern Lebanon. One of the things that statement said was diplomacy, however, cannot succeed amid an escalation of this conflict. We reiterate again the call that we have made for many, many months. There have been warnings since last October about people travelling to the region. We've been calling for many months for people to leave the region, for Australian citizens to come to safety in Australia. This is a dangerous region at the moment.
イランによる攻撃はこれはもう認められるものではございません。厳しくこれを非難したいと思っておりますが、これが全面戦争に拡大することがないように、よく連携を取ってまいりたいし、事態の沈静化に共に努めてまいりたいと考えておるところでございます。